Welcome back for another episode of TSP. On this episode of 151, we're going to be talking a little bit more sports this week and discuss last week's bets that took place, more specifically how the TSP Parlay unfolded in the Colorado State game, a couple bets that Bobby and I had, and a story that you'll just have to hear to believe yourself. Also, Browns fans are a little bit more relieved with the Nick Chubb news in his knee. It may not be as bad as we originally thought. Bobby took a day trip to Kelly's Island, and we discuss a soup competition that he also voted in. I finally bust out the smoker for that pork shoulder, and we discuss with images on how it all went down. We go around the mill like we do every week with an F-35 multi-million-dollar jet gone missing out of thin air. And as always, we have the D-Lo Monday Night Football lock. If they're going to give me 2 games, I want to give you 2 locks. So stay tuned for that. And we keep it simple for the TSP Parlay this week. If you've been liking these episodes, be sure to smash that subscribe button, like, comment, and share, and hit the bell icon for me, please, if you want to get all the latest. With that being said, wherever you are listening, enjoy the show.
Yes, sir. TSP episode 151. You know what it is. I'm your host, Bobby Hall. And with me, as always, Dylan Lesevich and our guy Joe the Greek is here in spirit. It's just going to be the OGs this week. Unfortunately, Joe is dealing with some personal stuff, and we'll kind of leave it at that. And he'll be back next week with us to talk shop and do what we do. So the show goes on. Dylan, how we doing?
We're doing good, Bobby. We're doing good. I see we got no shirt Bob this evening. So
I decided to go super. We're going super OG with it.
Yeah, I see that.
I was kind of sweating it out because we're recording a little later than usual on a Saturday. We just watched the thrilling conclusion to the Ohio State Buckeyes and Notre Dame Irish game. About 15 to 20 minutes ago, I had the same feeling and emotions that I would watching a Cleveland Browns game. And they were basically kind of in that same kind of scenario. But unlike the Browns usually, the Buckeyes marched down the field and made it happen, man. Won in Notre Dame's house, shut the fans up, and they're leaving with a dub. And Ryan Day is going to keep his job for a little bit longer because
for now,
shit was looking kind of sketchy there because those 4th down calls were absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, I missed the first half of the game, but I did not miss much of the game from what I've been told and seen on social media. But that last drive was definitely thrilling, had its ups and downs, but just by a nut hair got across that goal line. Or not, I don't even think 100%. It got across. It got onto the goal line, but that's all you fucking need for 6, baby.
Yep.
OH. Yeah,
and then, I can't help it, man. It's just like PTSD with watching Cleveland Browns games.
Yeah.
They end up saying that there's 1 second left on the clock, so they go kick the ball, and they kick the ball out of bounds, of course. So you're like, oh, fucking Christ, here we go. But they made it happen, and they got the dub. So we sweat that out, and now we're potting, baby. 151. It's great to be back. But yeah, we definitely gonna miss Joe this week, but he'll be back with us next week. So we'll be all good there. But we'll touch base on some things. Kind of some of the stuff we went over last week. We'll run into the mill, and we'll definitely got to touch on. We'll get into some gambling stuff, and just unfortunately, the TSP is a collective. We can't get on the winning side right now. But we do have a couple more plays for this week. We got the Sunday parlay, and then of course we got the D-Lo Monday Night Football lock that we will drop here shortly. and we'll see if we can cross back over. But man, speaking of college football, and last second, I guess, heroics and stuff like that. You and I, after we recorded last week, decided to throw on the Colorado State game because at the time we watched, Colorado State was up maybe even by two possessions. I can't remember completely, but it might have been like a 10-point game for them, and so, yeah. Low scoring. And you took some live bets on Colorado State, and I took the under points. It was like 69.5. And we watched the shit play out, and it was pretty much a shit show for both teams. They went into the half at 21-14 and didn't score a point in the third quarter. So, and at that time, I believe Colorado State was winning, and I was winning the point total bet. So me and Dylan were feeling great, and then sure enough, in typical fashion, that's when the tide started to turn, and Colorado made quite a comeback there. And I remember talking to you because that entire time I was getting cash out offers from DraftKings for the bet I had. And at the moment Colorado got the ball at their own 2-yard line with had to have been less than 2 minutes, maybe like a minute and a half. They stopped offering cash outs. And that's what I told her. I was like, all right, well, I just seen that they're doing that. So Colorado's about to march down, score, tie the game up, and then they're going to go over to overtime. And then they're going to fucking smash the over, and Colorado's going to win. And that is exactly what we watched. I died first, and shortly after, you followed suit, and it also endured a fiery death of your own. So
it was a slow, painful death in overtime. Both of our bets, actually, were about to cash and be successful with less than 2 minutes left in the fucking game. They marched down, and they score a touchdown. It was... Overtime was an automatic death for you, basically, because, I mean, they needed to score, like, any points really at all would have killed your over. And then the fact that it was just a slowed bleed out for me until Colorado State couldn't come back and score in the second overtime. So, I mean, it was, in typical fashion when gambling. But just like my locks, not so much like a lock. It's like more of like one of those, like, play locks that you get in a quarter machine outside of your local grocery store. But and
unfortunately, I mean, I guess we won't do the this week's bets yet, but I guess we'll just kind of carry that over into Sunday. We dropped our first TSP parlay, and what do the Bengals do? They have Lamar Jackson out there flinging the pill, like he's Peyton, Tom Brady, whatever, just absolutely crushing them. And I think we watched our parlay die by the end of the third quarter. Yeah. And it sucked. I think the only thing that actually ended up hitting was CMC over, 58 or 60 yards. I actually bet that on the side by itself, which was nice. So I kind of recouped a little bit of what I bet because that dude is on fucking fire. I think he's hit a anytime TD in like the last 10 or 12 games. Like he's the man. So
funny you said that. There's a post out there. If you started off with like $100 from the time the streak happened, say you bet $100 on CMC to score a touchdown, anytime score, and you've done that every game for the past like you said 10 to 12 games, you'd have been up like $78,000 if you just rolled over your winnings.
Sure.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, man. Every game, man. He's that boy. And then come Monday, we had the Monday lock, taking the Browns at I think we got them in at. I think I got them at 2.5.
Yep, 2.5.
Your bet was 3. It was
2.5.
Okay.
Yep.
So we feel confident in there, and we go into Pittsburgh, and of course, it's been 20 years, and Tim Couch is still the last quarterback to beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh, which is fucking nuts, and also just paid the ultimate price in taking that L as well, because our guy Nick Chubb, he went down with a knee injury pretty early in the game, and at the time, everyone feared the absolute worst because he injured the same knee in the same style in college, like Willis McGahee style, and he was, there's a lot of screaming and stuff. I mean, ESPN didn't even want to show the replay at first. It was pretty gruesome. And then obviously the internet being the internet, that stuff was all over my timeline pretty quick. And I saw it and it was fucked up. And he got carted off. And yeah, that really sucked, man. And then the Browns couldn't make it happen. Offense played like shit. Defense played phenomenally well. And that's the thing too, is it's starting to get hard to argue now against, the whole TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett debate, because TJ Watt went out there and fucking took the game over. I mean, him and Hightower, they're basically the reason that they are the reason that the Steelers won. I mean, first play of the fucking game in total Browns fashion. And there's been a whole debate on that too, because I got, Watson did kind of underthrow it to Harrison Bryant, but I mean, if it hits your fucking hands, you're in the NFL, let's pull it down. And then I watched him make maybe the worst fucking absolute worst effort at tackling someone I've ever seen, and just let Hightower, waltz into the end zone. So I don't know, man, but
yeah,
brutal,
I mean, it is always brutal. It's brutal being a Browns fan in general. I mean, any Browns fan knows that. But that first play you're talking about, that really just opened up the can of worms of what we were going to endure. Because probably that's one of the most wild games I've ever seen, just in general. It was just a fucking mess of a football game. Like probably one of the longest first halves of a football game. I don't think it was like halftime until about almost 10:30. It felt like, but that's probably more like 9:30, 10. But still, that first play to Harrison Bryant, it almost seems like there's a miscommunication, and I wouldn't be shocked if it was on Harrison Bryant's part, because he just doesn't seem to be all there. I don't even know why we would scheme up. Like, that's the first 10 plays are scripted plays, and you're scripting, I see out there 5 wide, and you have 3 tight ends of the 5, one of them being a running. You have 1 wide receiver out there. I think it was like Cooper that was out there as the only wide receiver on a fucking 5 wide set. And you're throwing it to Harrison Bryant to open up the game, who seems to be throttling down on his out route. He thinks, I guess he's sitting there in a what's the word I'm looking for? Like maybe like a gap between the zones or whatever. And Watson is thinking that he's just going to continue his out route and ends up throwing it regardless. Like you said, hits him off the hands. The rest is history. The lock was broken, and we go to what, 0-2 now on the year.
0-2 on the locks, 0-1 on the parlays.
It's all right. We're going to keep it simple this week, though, and stay tuned for that. We'll definitely get you on the right track and the winning. And
I was just today I was actually talking to, who was I talking to about that? I think my buddy Nick Michaels, about because we shared the Chubb news, because initially, I mean, he's out for the year, but a lot of people thought he was going to be done for life.
Right.
Because it was such a brutal injury, but today, actually, about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours before we got on here, Adam Schefter, at least that's who I seen. I don't know if he was the first one, but Adam Schefter tweeted out that doctors found that he had only tore his MCL, and he just stretched his ACL. I didn't see any tears yet. They did say they could find some more damage as they do the surgery, and once they're in there and stuff, but they did say as of now they're expecting to have a 6 to 8 month turnaround, which is phenomenal news for him, and obviously for us as fans, because I thought we'd never see him again in a Browns jersey. I mean, there will be, because I think after this season, is he a free agent?
I think he's under contract next year as well.
Okay, so we'll see. That'll kind of be an interesting crossroads, but more importantly, it's just the fact that this guy, who is the hardest working player in the NFL, top 2, top 3 running back, you know what I'm saying, in the league, he's going to be able to come back and hopefully get back, to doing what he's doing, just fucking dominate. And I loved hearing that. But I brought up my boy Nick because we were just talking about how, that was such great news, because Monday night and most of Tuesday, I was just fucking absolutely devastatingly depressed.
Same.
And it sucks because I felt bad, because I took Tuesday off from work, and me and Tori were looking forward to it because the kids are going to be in school. So we can kind of have a day to, do some, I had some errands to run, but we were going to do lunch and just, enjoy some time with just me and her. And I was just terrible to be around, man. I couldn't, it just sucked. I was in such a absolutely terrible mood. And I know that rubbed off on her, and I feel bad for it, looking back on it. And it sucks that I wish that, I didn't let, sports, a game, control my emotions and how my day is going to go. I mean, right before we got on here, you seen me 20 fucking minutes ago when I was sure that the Bucks were about to fucking drop, a loss. I was in a pissy mood, and, now that's all turned around. But yeah, it just sucks that, that my days are controlled by that. Like tomorrow, I mean, it'll start off great, but if shit goes left again, it's gonna be, that shit's tough to fucking shake. But more so, it wasn't just the loss. I mean, the loss sucked and it was annoying and aggravating because that's a game we should have fucking won. But it was just the Chubb shit, man. The Chubb news, and just seeing that everywhere, and people were already making like highlight fucking videos of him and shit, and just saying we'll miss Chubb and all this shit. It was sad and depressing, man. It was like a low moment, man. It sucks.
You were not alone in that. I mean, rest of Browns Nation and myself included, just as soon as it happened, I think it happened like towards the end of the first quarter. So like the rest of the game was just fucking so numb, and like they scored like a touchdown right after that, and like I don't think I've ever been more or least excited for a Browns touchdown in my entire life, because I was just so devastated, like you said, and it was almost like mourning a death. Like you would have thought like it was just like he died or something, but like it was bad because like your first think, because it didn't show it on ESPN, but it was surfaced on social medias like within minutes, and like his knee and leg was at like a 90-degree angle. We're not going to show it on here, obviously, but I mean, I'm sure you've seen it if you're a sports fan on social media, and like you're thinking career ending. I mean, it was just like, dude, this can't be it, man. He was like 70 yards away from being like the second time or third time all Cleveland Browns rusher. And he has a really good shot of just surpassing Jim Brown. So I mean, like, this is our generation's Jim Brown here in Cleveland. He is Cleveland through and through. He resembles everything you want in just a football player, and I think that really showed when he did go down. The NFL world kind of like stopped and like gave their like well wishes and just devastation of this news. But with the great news we received, like you stated, from Adam Schefter and other outlets out there, the fact that he only tore his MCL, and I think the one in Georgia, he ended up tearing his MCL, PCL, ACL, and dislocated. Like, that would have been worst case scenario, and that's exactly what it looked like. I mean, if you saw the images from his Georgia injury, it didn't look as bad as this one in Cleveland, but thank God that it's not as bad. But wait and see after surgery. Fingers crossed that they don't find any more injuries or more damage to that knee, and that it is what the MRI has stated, that it's only an MCL and a stretched ACL. But 6 to 8 months, I mean, for Nick Chubb, that could be even less. But he's out for the year regardless. Hope he has a speedy recovery, and see him week 1 next year.
Yeah. We'll keep our fingers crossed on that for sure, and hopefully he can come back and make a lot of fucking noise. But moving on, I was talking to you in pre-production. I've been really harping on people using apps for whether it's food you're going out to eat or you're grocery shopping or this and that and the third. And this week, I do most of my shopping at Kroger. I just always seem like they got a little bit of better deals, and I like using their app and doing like the Kroger pickups. And I like obviously the fuel. Like, I don't think I've paid more than $2.90 a gallon for gas, and that's on the higher end. I mean, right now, at least by us, it's like $3.60, $3.70 right now. So you just do your regular ass fucking shopping. You're gonna rack up some fuel points, and that shit makes a fucking difference. So you got that shit right there. And then like this week, they had 300 bonus fuel points if you spend like $50, which that's fucking easy as fuck to do, these days. So I clipped that and just clipped probably like 40 or 50 different coupons. And then and ended up at when I was all of a sudden done, it was like $100 worth of savings, $100. And then the one thing I noticed too was they had a $25 off purchase for any transactions 250 or over, but the 250 has to be after all the coupons and sales and shit take it off. So at first, I think I got to 250 something, but it was before they took off all the shit.
Mm-hmm.
So what I basically had to do was just add an extra $25-$30 worth of shit, and then that got taken off. So I got $25 worth of free shit, which cool. It was like an extra. I got a thing of milk. I got a pack of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and then I got a 5-pound fucking roll of ground beef. It's essentially for the free. So you got to always look through that shit because they'll stick that stuff. They'll post like 500 to 600 coupons every week, and a lot of it's just fucking stupid garbage, stuff that you don't really even need. And then you'll be scrolling through there, and then they'll mix in one of those like $25 off coupons. So every week I'm always just kind of scrolling through the whole fucking list because you never know what you're gonna fucking find in the most random spots. So
like if you
it was great. So if you're on there and you just look at the ads and you just buy shit that's on sale this week, like, I mean, that is a smart thing to do, but there's more to it than that. So get over there, look at them digital coupons, clip them motherfuckers. Even over at Meyer too. Meyer's got the same thing. They call them M perks.
Mm-hmm.
You do that same kind of shit. So take the fucking 15-20 minutes. I mean, you're doing it all on your phone anyway, which is you're already fucking scrolling whatever the fuck you're scrolling on. So take the 15-20 minutes, clip your shit and make it happen, man. So I'm telling you right now, if you guys aren't on these apps, you're really fucking up because you're missing out on a lot of savings out there.
Yeah, I got it. Now that you mention it, I have a app story of my own that happened over the week. I was over strolling through Lowe's. We were going there. I had to get some stuff for the barbecue smoke, doing that. And then Jen wanted to look at some of their Halloween decorations. She's really insisted on getting some skeletons to put in our rocking chairs in the front porch, but unfortunately I didn't have any. But needless to say, I got some weed fertilizer and all this jazz, but mostly was going there for some barbecue equipment. And as we were walking through, one of the Lowe's workers said, "Hey, do you have a rewards program, our Lowe's Pro program? It's not like a credit card or anything like that, but I guess it's everything like a point system, kind of like M-Perks at Meijer, where they have for their app now. And I guess if you signed up, you would get $20 coupon as soon as like you signed up for it, and you get emailed to use that today." So I did that, went up to the register, and I probably had about 100. I think it came out to be like $160, $150 worth of shit with like the fertilizer and all the grill stuff, the pellets, everything like that combined. We used first off, you can't use military discount and coupons. So the military discount and coupons, I guess a military discount is considered a coupon, so you can't double it, which was unfortunate. Still, thank you for the service, but we can't double your coupons. And so we didn't use that. We ended up using that $20 coupon that we got from signing up with their points. And with that being said, the points weren't working. We were at the self-checkout, so maybe that was the case. Wasn't computing right on the self-checkout, so they had us go over to someone to help us at a manual checkout. And what was happening was that it wasn't working there either. It was only taking like the $15 off the sale item for the fertilizer. And when they manually put in, because they had to have like the manager come over and like take $20 off a specific item because it wasn't working, the coupon wasn't working. But as soon as they took off that item, it automatically kicked in my $20 coupon, but the cashier didn't catch it. So it ended up saving like $40 on top of the $15 sale. So I ended up only paying for like $150, $160 worth of shit. Only walked out after tax like $86. A little bit
That's
of
the
luck.
thing, man. It's just, I mean, yeah, that's part of that's their fuck up, but doing something simple as just signing up for rewards, like, I mean, if they're gonna put that shit out there, do it, man. Especially, I mean, you're not always gonna be at fucking Lowe's or Home Depot, but places like a Meijer or a Kroger or some of these fast food joints, if you're there semi regularly, then points fucking add the fuck up.
It does.
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
I don't know about the fast food apps though, man. Like, I appreciate the savings, but all it does is enable me to be more of a fat ass and go to those places. Like, I mean, just look at Burger King. I just saw a commercial for their app. You get like you sign up for their app, you get 25% off your order. Like, and that adds up. I mean, it's bullshit. I mean, it's not, but it sucks that my mentality is like, oh, I'm saving more money, or I just got. And their rewards program is actually pretty legit. Like the way you rack up points and like,
Fuck yeah.
I got one order, which wasn't insane at all. It was probably like $10, and like I already got enough points to get like a free large iced coffee or like a free Big Mac or something like that. But yeah, it definitely enables me to be more of a less disciplined fat ass.
Yeah, and them like McDonald's, like sometimes the deals that they have outweigh the free shit that you can get. So like, I racked up so many fucking points because I just wasn't using them because the deal that it'd be like 20%, 25%, or free fucking meal, this that, $1 Happy Meal, whatever. So I'm like, this deal actually outweighs anything else I can get for free. So like, I racked all that shit up, and then now, cause I didn't know for the longest, Happy Meals are a part of like the fucking rewards program. So like, I haven't had to pay for Jax's Happy Meal in a grip. I'm just
Man,
fucking
that is nice.
30 or 40,000 points, which sounds like a lot, but like it don't take too long to fucking get up there because you'll get thousands of points per fucking shit. So after a while, you rack that shit the fuck up. So it's great, man.
Yeah,
and like I said, it's not some sort of miraculous fucking thing. I'm still fucking paycheck to paycheck blue collar motherfucker. But if you're gonna go to these places and shit, why not fucking use what they got instead of just going up to the fucking drive through and letting them fist you? You know what I'm saying? At least this way, there's a little lube on it.
Yeah, I wonder if you could rack up enough points on that McDonald's app, because they do just like hand out points for free, it seems. Like you can just purchase a franchise. Just gotta cash these reward points and just get a franchise.
Well, I think because I'll get emails sometimes saying like you have this number of points that are about to expire. So they're gonna recoup their shit one way or the other. So, but yeah, I just ever since season 6 started, I seem like every week I got a new pretty hefty savings on a different app. And once I seen this Kroger one, I definitely wanted to share that as well. So, but yeah, it's good to be back again. I got a lot of messages from people. People are interested in knowing how the smoke went. So we'll touch on that here momentarily. I know some people were asking about. A couple of my buddies reached out about my lawnmower, which update on that. The guy ended up picking it up, repairing it, bringing it back the next day, and he just did it free of charge. I'm guessing probably just because it was such a short turnaround since he had it in last. And I still even offer him like, hey man, like you gotta do that, but he says we're good to go. So I definitely appreciate that. That's gonna help keep me level headed, because when that shit happening, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. Because it really does feel like it's just one thing after another. But we got good on that, and I'm gonna wait until Joe the Greek's back, because I want to talk with him on that as well. But I did try the Costco roast beef sandwich that we talked about last week. Gave it a run. I do have a rating on that, and I'll go through the full thing on there when our boy is with us. And I guess we'll basically and then I guess I like talking about, we won't talk barbecue. We had one request from Joe because he's the barbecue guy of the show. So other than Dylan getting into his maiden voyage, we won't really touch on any barbecue stuff. But I do like to get into some of the Sunday football cuisine menu items and stuff, for that week. And this week, actually, speaking of smoking, my guy Rich actually today at like 10 a.m. put, I think, 2 pork butts weighing like they were like combined weight was like 15 pounds on his smoker, and we're gonna have that. We're gonna have some pulled pork and shit for the Browns game tomorrow. I'm actually gonna be making a crab dip, a Maryland crab dip. Really looking forward to that. It's gonna have some Old Bay, some some cheese in there, cream cheese, because every dip's got to have fucking cream cheese in it these days. Some good lump crab, and I'm looking forward to that. Gonna have some pita chips and some Ritz crackers to dip with, and that's gonna be absolutely fucking scrumptious. And we got I don't know, like 10 people, maybe a dozen people coming tomorrow. So I think everyone's going to kind of bring something different, hopefully at least. That's something I try to do is, if you invite me over somewhere, I do like to make sure I'm not coming empty handed. And you right over there?
Yeah, I got this fucking little gnat.
Okay.
Pissing me off.
Because you're shitting yourself in pre-production, so I thought maybe you were fucking yourself up again.
No, the ventilation is poor. I found that out very fast during pre-production, but no, I got this like one little like fucking fly that I got it computer screen right here. It's the only light in the room, and it's fucking in my fucking zone, pissing me the fuck off. So if you see me waving around, that's probably why.
So yeah, gonna be another fun football Sunday with the boys. As you know, like I said last week, I am for the boys, so that's why I'm bringing a dip with me. It will be nice though to kind of just be able to show up, just warm up the dip I got, and then clock out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mind though. I had zero qualms with frying wings up from 11 o'clock till 1:30. Last week it was all good. And even our guy James, I don't know if you've seen on the Instagram there, he added a little comment to the clip, and actually it did pretty decent numbers. So that might be something we'll have to start doing. Dylan is maybe posting a couple clips. I don't know if you follow like Pat McAfee, but he throughout his show he'll post clips from different segments and shit. So I don't think we need to do fucking 30 clips or anything, but maybe one or two, especially because that one was a pretty funny little spot there between you and I, and having Joe just kind of sit there and laugh and enjoy us bickering and shit. But yeah, man, that's just I love this time of year. I'm waiting for it to get like nice maybe 60-degree day to make some chili. Actually, speaking of chili, I today was my cousin's, she's marrying my guy Tanner, and we went out to Kelly's Island today for his bachelor party. Me, my uncle, and my cousin Jake rode the ferry. I've been to Kelly's Island since I was probably in grade school, so it'd been a while. Rode the ferry out to and from. Water was choppy as fuck, dude. I mean, it was windy as shit. So, I mean, it was tossing that ferry around like it was, piece of fucking yarn or something, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy what like water can fucking do, move around something that's probably who the fuck knows how many tons.
That's just a lake.
Yeah, exactly. So I couldn't imagine, like my uncle brought up like those guys that do Deadliest Catch, like fuck that.
Yeah,
just getting fucking in them fucking 200-foot swells just to catch one tuna. Like no thanks. I'm good on that. But so we went out there and did a little day drinking. I think we left 2 there to go there at like 11, and then caught the 4 o'clock ferry. So it was a nice little like 4 or 5 hour little thing there. And it was fun, man. They had a little cookout, and then we went to a couple of bars down there, and had a nice time. That's definitely somewhere I could see doing like a little day trip like that, even with like the family. There was a bunch of shit out there to do. It was fun. Everyone's riding around in golf carts and shit.
Bust out the puka shells?
No, that I didn't. You know what I mean? I wasn't on an island, but I didn't even think about it, man. So I gotta definitely keep that in mind next time. But we rode on the way back, and I get back to my uncle's, and like in his neighborhood, they always do these little like they're almost like block parties. Like one dude will host pretty much everyone in the neighborhood for whatever. And this time it was a soup competition. And at first I was like, it was like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm like, I gotta go. Like, because I had some shit in the crock pot I was making, made a nice fucking phenomenal roast, cooked for about 8 to 10 hours, and it was just delightful. I love a good pot roast, crock pot.
Oh yeah,
roast. But he wouldn't take no for an answer because there was somebody there that made a blueberry soup.
what?
Hot blueberry soup. Yeah. And I tried it. I tried them all. So we go down there, and I mean, there was, I think, 10 or 11 different stations, like people in the neighborhood making those shit. Like, first one I had was a clam chowder that absolutely fucking banged. There was a he called it unstuffed green pepper soup, banger. I had shrimp gumbo, banger. There was a cheese Italian tortellini soup, banger. There was a lasagna soup, and I thought it was good, but basically it just felt like they put a lasagna, because everyone would give you like it was like a little fucking, I don't know, 6 to 8 ounce styrofoam cup that they'd ladle their shit in, and you try it, and then when you first got there, they'd give you a slip, and you'd write down your favorite, because each table was numbered, so you'd write down what table had the best soup and shit like that. So
I was going to ask, like, what are the serving size like if you're having all those different types of soups?
Yeah,
so.
And I ended up getting pretty fucking like stuff, man. You'd have 8 or 9 cups, 10 cups of fucking soup. You wouldn't think, but it caught up. But yeah, they made a lasagna soup, but it just felt like they put like lasagna. Like, it wasn't really like a soup to me. It was just like lasagna in a cup. It was fire, but it wasn't really a soup. And then we get to the hot blueberry soup.
Okay, talk to me.
I mean, when they brought this up, I'm like, I just don't even know what you could really do with that. Like, they said there wasn't any meat in it. There was no kind of pasta or vegetables or anything. It was just hot blueberry soup. So they serve it. They put granola in it. They put I think some whipped cream in there. And it was good, but it was like a dessert kind of thing. Like, my aunt was saying, like, it would maybe be good over like one of those like strawberry shortcake cakes.
Yeah,
shit, over top. And I said it'd be good over like top some ice cream or like, pie. Mm-hmm. If you had like a blueberry pie, you could ladle that shit over top, because it was good as fuck. But it wasn't like, it was like a dessert type of thing, is what it kind of felt like. And then next up was the folks that I ended up voting for as having the best soup. I'll have to ask my Aunt Uncle see who ended up winning. I'm not sure, but it was a couple of these ladies who made a vegetable soup, hamburger and vegetable soup, that it was their grandmother's recipe, and they had it framed. It looked like they just tore the sheet out of their grandmother's cookbook, had it right there framed, and it was phenomenal, dude. It was so good, dude. I love a good vegetable soup, and it was one of those ones that, like, on a Sunday, man, where it's like, a little chilly out and stuff, and you want to sit back and just relax and shit on a fall weekend evening. That's the one right there. That's where that took me to. And then following that, there was my second favorite, which was Italian wedding soup. And these folks made one, and they rolled all the meatballs. So homemade meatballs in there, great broth, some good pasta, and really enjoyed that. And then the last one I had was a white chicken chili. So, and I know some people, I don't know, chili always falls in like that gray area of whether or not it's soup or, I guess, chowder. It's like in somewhere in there, but try that out. And like I said, I gave table 10. They were the hamburger and vegetable soup folks. They got my vote. I'll have to find out and see who won, because I know some people were kind of voting with a bias, because a lot of those people, like, they're friends with each other and shit. So we'll see how it goes. But it was cool, man. It was just like, I wish I lived in that fucking neighborhood. Have just everyone from the neighborhood got together. Everyone's cool as shit. They live in one of those. They live right off the lake, so it's basically everyone gets around on golf cart. There was probably 40 fucking golf carts over there, and everyone's just really cool with each other, good vibes, and just doing something cool like a fucking soup cook-off. Like, it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I ended up doing it, and it was awesome, man. I got to try a bunch of really awesome soups and have some. I can say, even though I don't necessarily consider it to be a soup, but I had hot blueberry soup.
Yeah, I would imagine before you described it, especially when you said they added the graham cracker in there, it's probably like more like a blueberry pie type of.
Well, no, it was granola. Maybe I don't know if I said graham cracker, but I meant granola. They put granola
Yeah, I think
and
that's what you
some
said,
whipped
granola.
cream.
Yeah, that's
But
my
so
bad.
yeah, kind of.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you're right. That would be more of like a dessert over like a strawberry shortcake or even
yeah,
ice cream dessert style there. But I can't believe you just brushed over the fact that they framed the winner, or what you picked as the winner. They framed the fucking recipe there. So that might have
yeah,
to be a rule of thumb that I will have to add to my, what I always say is if a restaurant serves food, like food trucks, they serve it out of a styrofoam container, it's usually going to be fucking slapping in fire. Might have to add if the recipe is framed, it's gonna be fire.
yeah. They had the recipe framed, and then they framed a picture of their grandmother, and like it was legit, man. And it was just you could tell, like I said, it was from a cookbook that was probably 40 years old. So that thing's probably that recipe's been passed down from family member to family member, and it was awesome, dude. I'm a huge soup guy. I don't care if it's fucking July. I'll eat some soup all goddamn day. But the fact, I mean, obviously the best time of year, at least for me, is fall. Like today, right off the lake, it was a little more breezy. So by the time we got back, it was probably in like the low 60s. So I mean, that soup was just absolutely smacking. And when we got back to like, we did some day drinking, man. We had 3-4 hours there. So your boy, put some away, had some shots. So, I was feeling a little something there. So that shit kind of brought me back to life. And yeah, man, I had a great time. It was so cool.
It sounds like you had yourself a good ass Saturday. I spent my
Yeah, man.
Saturdays just fucking not really slaving away cooking or anything like that. I mean, it's just smoking, so you're kind of just periodically going back and forth. But that's basically what I did all day, was
Well,
right in the
let's talk
craft
about
there.
it, man. I had people ask, how'd he do? Did he fuck up anything? I told him, you guys gotta wait until the episode, of course. So, I mean, you said I don't know if do you have any photos or anything you're gonna pop up, and people would probably want to
Yeah, I
see
do.
that.
Yeah.
So let's maybe do that. They'll want to see the D'Lo cinematic, video. Unfortunately, yeah, you're kind of doing a one-man show, so we didn't get to
Right.
see, because that is, make sure you note going forward. That's a big one. Is the bone pulling out? Oops, excuse me. So
Yeah.
make sure you keep that in
Yeah.
mind, man, because that's the money shot for sure.
Yeah,
But it was
is.
clean though. It is a clean. What you did show us was a clean bone.
Yeah, I don't have that particular video in here, but thank you for at least confirming it was a clean pool there, not a sliver of meat on that bone. It was a way bigger bone than I thought it was, because I was pulling it from one side. I was like, whoa, it's attached. I thought it was two separate bones. It's like, whoa, it's attached to the other side here. So I had like find like a way to pull it out, but it kind of like slid right out there. I didn't break apart the meat at all. So a nice, juicy, tender pork shoulder. Appreciate the recommendations, because I mean, I would imagine it turned out great. I mean, Jen rated it a 9 out of 10, and she's usually pretty picky with her foods. The girls enjoyed it. They're pretty picky with their foods. The flavors really clashed together. I used a Memphis barbecue hickory pellets. I used that with my Traeger pellet smoker, and it was about like just under. It's like sub 6 pound shoulder. I think it was like 5.7. Started about 9:30 a.m. and it wrapped up after resting for 30-45 minutes. I think I wrapped it up probably around 4:15. So what is that? Quick math. 7 hours, 7.5 hours or so in total. So it wasn't too bad. It's actually a lot quicker than I thought it was. I should have started a little bit later because we had an early dinner because of it. But needless to say, let's see if I can get this going here. Let me get some pictures. Let's probably put us in this setting, and then I can probably pop up some photos here. So this is how the bad boy started out. That's a very zoomed in photo. So
You can see the specks of pepper. I mean, she's well seasoned, folks, as you can see here. Those of you listening on the podcast, yeah, like I said, it's very well zoomed in, and you can see every single speck of seasoning. So it's definitely, I can tell you right now, it is covered very well. And what seasonings did you use?
yeah, we're seasoning on all sides here. This is just the top side. We got fat side on the bottom of this picture. I don't know why it zoomed in so much, but I guess that's just the way it uploaded. Sorry about that, guys. But We used an all-purpose from, is it Kinder's, right? That's how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Kinder's. I think these are both going to be Kinder's seasoning. So they're all-purpose. That's your salt, pepper, garlic. That's covered in the first layer there on all sides. And then I put I think it's called wood fire garlic on there as well. Covered that bad boy up. And then I put it into the smoker. Well, this actually, I seasoned it all 4 sides just like this. And what I did was I wrapped it, put it in the fridge, and it sat overnight. It's seasoned. So I put it in there. So it probably sat for like 12, 15 hours before I actually smoked it. But I also let it sit for like 30 minutes while the smoker was going to also like sweat a little bit so the seasonings can sweat in there. And let's see. Put it in the smoker. And then I can actually do this.
Did you let it come up to room? Like, it wasn't cold when you put it on the smoker, was it?
No, the meat was starting to sweat. So I mean, I don't think it was. I think when I put my thermometer in there, it was probably sitting at like
meat.
Right, it was probably sitting at like 65, 70 degrees when I put it on there. It wasn't too bad. I keep my house at like 72, so it was almost room temp. This I think is the classic Delo shot. If I can here. There it is.
Now, this is pre-bone pull, right? I'm pretty sure.
This is pre-bone pull.
I think you could have got it with one hand, though. To be honest, man,
probably could.
It slid right out, right?
Yeah, it was a rookie move. I probably could have just like kind of worked it with one hand and filmed with the other, but I mean, I had messy gloves on. I wasn't thinking. But next time I'll definitely.
It's shred like butter, right?
Oh, it's shredded like butter. With got those. I didn't think I needed 50. Like a 50 pack is like the only ones I saw. The 50 pack of like barbecue gloves, and it actually came with like the knitted heat gloves. I was like, I won't need 50 pairs of this. What the fuck? I probably went through like 5, 6 pairs just for this one cook. Because like,
yeah, because you're not gonna like keep reusing the same.
Right. So I was like, God damn, I'm gonna use these up more than I thought. But yeah, what you see here is not just the seasoning. I also picked up from Lowe's when I was there using my $20 off coupon. Was a sauce that they had in the grilling section. I didn't want to go with like your classic like fucking Kraft barbecue sauce or something like that. I wanted to use something that was kind of like, you know, I don't know, like more expensive route. I didn't want to go generic. I wanted to go like more of a, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but you know, like your fucking Killer Hogs type shit, or like, you know, like your big name brand. So what I got was what's it called? Bone sucking sauce. So I added that extra R there to the bone when I sent it to you guys, just, you know, making jokes and shit. But I did kind of like let this get into the smoker. It hit about 165. I pulled it out of the smoker, drizzled it with that bone sucking sauce. It's award-winning, they say. It turned out really good, but it's award-winning barbecue sauce there. And wrapped it up. And I didn't, typically from the videos that I saw, it was like they wrapped it up like the actual whole shoulder into some aluminum foil. But I also saw some other people like Malcolm Reed who would put it in like an aluminum pan and then cover that over so it collects all the juices. And he does it that way. And I was like, I could use the extra juices for when I shred it. So I put it in there and it got it up to about 203. I wanted to hit that 200 temp, 203 to make sure everything was all good. And we shredded that bad boy up. And let's see if I can get that picture up here. I get this off.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Looks good, man. Looks really good.
There we go. Another really zoomed in photo, but as you see here,
I mean, you get to see all the goodness right there. So, yeah, folks, those of you that, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to want to tune into the YouTube to see these photos, you know, or stuff, because, you know, we're going to post a lot of shit like this. So obviously, it's one thing to kind of hear it, but you're also going to want to see it. I mean, that's the best part, like getting to see this shit right here. Like, you know, everything looks great.
Definitely. Most definitely. I mean, it really didn't need any extra, but what I did do here, I shredded it up by hand, using like my 6th pair of barbecue gloves, and it was easy shred. Like you said, like butter. And then I threw on a little bit more of that wood fire garlic over the top, mixed it in, and then from that pan, I didn't use all the juices, but I kind of like drizzled on some of them juices that dripped in the pan throughout the cook. And what I did while I was like letting this rest was I left that pan of juices in the smoker, and it was kind of getting the smoke on top of that as well, a little extra smoke flavor. Drizzle that over this, and it turned out fucking phenomenal, man. It really did. And I'm pretty impressed with myself. Like I said to you guys, I was like, oh, man, it was pretty easy. I mean, like you said, pork shoulders are the easiest things to do. You can't fuck it up, and if you do, they're cheap. But it kind of inspired me to do it every weekend almost.
It's easy. It's just can be very time consuming. You know, if you get into like, you know, once you ever move up into the briskets, those can take 16, 18 hours. Like my guy Richie, like, you know, he's got the ones that are a little bit more bigger than what you got. So I mean, it's going to take a while. I mean, 8 hours. That's you don't see that very much. But like you said, yours is only like a five pounder. So.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man, it's good stuff. And with a Traeger, like you got a little bit easier than somebody that's got, you know, a smoke box on their grill or, you know, something like that. Like your shit's gonna be regulated, you know, temp wise, as long as you pay attention to your pellets and all that shit. So
yeah, I had to fluctuate with it. First time ever using it. Shout out to the female Gary V and my mom getting it for me, and. But I mean, like the temperature fluctuate. Like I would set it at like 250, but it would like go all the way up to like 270. Now I have to like turn it down at 225. It would get down to like 240. So I had to like kind of pay attention to it, like you said there. I only had to refill, or not really refill, but kind of top off the pellets once because I filled up the box once and it kind of like went down. But you know, it was good, seamless transition into the smoke game. Definitely built some confidence going forward. You could really smoke anything from what I've researched, so I like to get creative and see what else I can do going into the future and share it with you guys.
Did you make what'd you do with those sandwiches, or how'd you eat it?
I just ate it like this, honestly, with a side of plate. Had some potato salad, coleslaw, some baked beans, and some cornbread. There
you go. And I assume there's leftovers, so is that gonna be Sunday football?
Oh yeah,
move too. Okay.
Give me his football move. I do have some hamburger buns, so I might make some sandwiches for the football game.
There you go.
Do it that way. Try to see how it is. Oh yeah.
Some cheese. There you go, man. Yeah. Well, that's not what that bottle said that you had.
Oh yeah, I did. Like I said, I added that R there for some boner sucking sauce. So.
Yes, sir.
Child. I'm a fucking child.
How would I? Because I have a for when we jump in the mill. For one of the stores I want to get into, I have a web page that has a 911 call on there, or 911. Jesus Christ, 911 call on there.
It's like, wait, what? Wait. So,
how can I send that to you so you can play it on here?
You can send it to me through the drive right now. I could probably pull it up. You send it to the talking shop.
Just the website
drive. Oh, the website.
Yeah, because the call is on. It's a part of the article.
Oh, copy that. There should be a private chat. If you go over on your screen, can you send a link through the private chat?
Let me see if I can pull it up.
If you do that, I could probably pull it up, share it, and we could listen to it right there and then.
While I'm doing that, why don't we get into the mill here and start?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's hop in that mill right now. Oh, Joe would still appreciate that. Oh
yeah,
finger gunning it up here into the mill. We got a couple things here. We went over one of them already with the first smoke was a success for the D-Low, the DYLF. That is, so we already went over that. Can't wait to do some more smoking and share it with you guys. We went over the Nick Chubb injury and the miraculous news that we received today with only an MCL tear. Like we said earlier, it could be a little bit more damage if they discover it during the first surgery. He's going to be scheduled for 2 surgeries there. But the way that injury looked, probably one of the more gruesome injuries that we've seen in recent history. Definitely the most devastating for me from a personal standpoint, and Bobby as well, and Browns Nation all over the world. Just because of who Nick Chubb is as a human, first and foremost. Great football player, better human, embodies everything you want in a Cleveland Brown and NFL football in general. But going into other news as well, Bobby, I don't know when your next birthday party is going to be, if you even have birthday parties anymore, but you might want to set yourself up here and get on the registry for a NERF birthday party. I'm not sure if your childhood ever had any like Nerf gun wars or anything like that, but the child and me is probably going to have his 29th birthday party at your local NERF Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, the NERF company, I don't know if actually they're backing it up at all, but I know the NERF company is going to be doing a 29,000 square foot battle zone. They're going to have blaster battle zones, sport challenges, obstacle courses, food courts, and a store where I'm assuming you can buy ammunition and other top-of-the-line Nerf guns there for you. Let me get here. Boom, and boom. So this is what that bad boy is going to look like, apparently. This is like the blueprints of it all. The NERF Action Premiere. Yeah, so this is supposed to be set to open up. First 2 locations are going to be in Tennessee and New Jersey. I think they have Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and Paramus, New Jersey in 2024. So they're probably going to be like more of like a pilot set location. But if it's anything like Dave & Buster's, but just with NERF, I mean, you see trampoline parks taking off. Those seem to be a good success. I feel like this is going to be a phenomenal addition to some weekend fun for any family with the children and all that kind of stuff. I mean, even for like the younger adults out there that maybe grew up with Nerf guns and stuff. I mean, like I tweeted this. I was like, what are the birthday party packages looking like? I'm just asking for a friend, really asking for myself. But what are your thoughts, Bobby?
I'm going to be 35 next year.
Doesn't matter, dude.
So, I mean, it'd be fun to do this, but I would be in just devastatingly excruciating pain for probably the following week. Fuck around with this kind of stuff. So, but yeah, the kids would love it.
Right.
You know, I guess we'd have to see. We'll see the finished product, see what kind of pricing we're looking at. Because I mean, you're driving what is that? Fucking 9 hours away.
I mean, yeah, the first 2 locations, you're gonna have to probably wait until it gets a little bit closer to home, depending on where you're living there. But these pilot locations in 2024 for New Jersey and Tennessee, actually, either way, I mean, Tennessee ain't too far. I don't know where Pigeon Forge is at, but Nashville for me is only about 5 hours. I'm not going to drive more than an hour to get to a NERF arena, but you know what I'm saying. But we'll see. I mean, I'm sure that if it becomes a success, they're going to grow more and more. I'm sure 2024 we'll probably end up seeing 50 plus locations across the United States. It's just the beginning.
We'll see, man. I'm interested to see the actual finished product. Real deal.
Absolutely. I remember like back in season 5, we talked about Taco. This is completely off subject from the NERF, but we talked about those Taco Bell brand new buildings with like the double decker, like tube delivery bullshit. Like I've never seen any of those around us, so I'm not sure if that pilot locations just weren't as successful, or I'm not. It's a long process to renovate these Taco Bells. But I mean, like Taco Bell is getting quite expensive, anyways. I mean, you can't get out of there without spending about $20-25 anyways.
Yeah, and to go off what we were talking about earlier, they're one of the, I mean, they have a rewards program, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to navigate through. So they gotta get their shit together, especially with being probably one of the more higher end fast food joints. And that sucks because they used to be probably the premier value menu fucking destination. You know, at one point they had a 79, 89, and 99 cent menu, It was fucking spectacular. But now, yeah, like you said, I was just texting our guy Matt Schmees a couple weeks ago that a quesadilla I think is $6, $7.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, come on, man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's sad. But I sent that link in the chat there to get into, because this was something that it hit earlier in the week that was just mind boggling, and just kind of swept the news for a few days to the point. I mean, there's memes and all kinds of shit. I mean, people talking about it because it was just crazy. An F-35, I think it was like a military plane. It went missing. And it's just
I heard about that.
People were talking about, and I see one of the jokes that was funny. It's just like the government can't find this military plane, but they'll know if you sent X amount of dollars on Venmo. And it's like, it's funny because it's fucking true. Like, they'll know where all that shit's moving around, but they can't fucking figure out where this fucking plane is. And they eventually did find it. It crashed in like a forest somewhere. Can't remember where it's at. I think it'll say in this article here somewhere. But the looks like maybe South Carolina. But yeah, the fucking pilot, he jumped out of the goddamn plane, and he ended up parachuting into someone's fucking yard where that person called 911, and they're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And he just said, like, I don't know, it was like a miscommunication or something, and he fucking popped out of there, and the plane is just still flying around in the fucking air, and the government can't figure out where this thing's at, and kind of like freaking everyone out, because I mean, that's a big fucking plane, dude. So that could crash into a commercial airline, or fall into someone's fucking yard and destroy a whole fucking neighborhood. Who the fuck knows? But
right.
But yeah, they released the 911 call of the gentleman that owned the home where this pilot just came out of nowhere and parachuted in his yard, and a lot of confusion and bizarre shit ensued. So if that'll work, up top there.
Yeah, it looks like it's broken up here. This is the one you want me to play right here?
Yeah.
Okay, it should work.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
It's 6938 South Kenwood Drive.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
It says that... Yeah. You just want me to tell you got ejected? I will get my back for a little bit, but... I guess we got a pilot at our house, and he says he got ejected. Well, he ejected from the plane, so we just see if we could get some ambulance, please.
I'm sorry, what happened?
We got a pilot in the house, and I guess he landed in my backyard, and we were trying to see if we could get a ambulance to the house, please. And the address is 6938 South Kenwood Drive. Okay.
Okay. So, like, how... Okay. What is the phone number that you're calling from? Okay. We're getting help on the way. Give me just a moment.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'm in a house. I made it in a neighborhood. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so
I don't know if that one below is part 2, but yeah, I mean, that's nuts. Like, and the crazy thing about it is this dude that just watched a fucking random ass pilot parachute in his yard is like acting so nonchalant. Like, I would be like talking to the guy while I'm talking 911, like, dude, what the fuck happened? Like, why are you here? What the fuck's going on? What do you mean you got ejected?
And then, like, he's like, yeah, sounds like he asked the pilot. You want me to say
it's
you
cool
got
that
ejected?
He was trying to get the dude, an ambulance and shit, but I don't know. What's the second one say?
This one is a lot shorter. It's 14 seconds. It's in a 911 call. An operator speaking to the pilot about possible injuries from the fall.
Okay, yeah, let's let that one go.
We already have help on the way. Give me just a moment, sir.
Where am I bleeding from? Yeah, water would be good.
All right. Okay. How far did he fall?
I was at 2,000 feet.
Just 2,000 feet.
But yeah, below that you can see he told him, like, well, I don't know. He said it crashed initially, even though he said he's the pilot. He ejected from the airplane, and it should still be flying, but he's not sure that if it crash landed, and that's when, you know, panic and stuff ensued because they couldn't find where this plane was, and I don't know, they had some fucking bunk ass explanation as to why, but we'll keep these rolling here.
This 10-second clip right here is a 911 call made from a resident's home. A military jet pilot explains he had to eject from his plane.
We had a military jet crash. I'm the pilot. We need to get rescue rolling. I'm not sure where the airplane is. It would have crash landed somewhere. I ejected.
Wild, man.
They gave no reason of why he ejected.
So it's looking here and there. It says it crashed Sunday after a malfunction prompted the pilot to eject over Charleston and landed the residential backyard not far from Charleston International Airport. The fighter jet, which the Marine Corps said was at an altitude of only about 1,000 feet, kept flying for 60 miles until it crashed in a rural area near Indiantown. It took more than a day to locate the wreckage. In a separate 8-minute dispatch call released Thursday to the AP, an unidentified official, sorry, this is small print, tried explaining that they had a pilot with his parachute, but no information about what happened to his plane or word of a crash. He said the pilot lost sight of it on his way down due to the weather. The official also recalled hearing a rather loud noise about 25 minutes prior that sounded like something like a tornado, possibly a plane. The Marine Corps said Thursday that a feature on fighter jets intended to protect pilots in emergencies could explain how the F-35 managed to continue its travels. They said that while it was unclear why the jet kept flying, flight control software would have worked to keep it steady if there were no longer a pilot's hands on the controls. And it looks like there's a quote here that says, if the jet is stable in level flight, the jet will attempt to stay there. If it was in an established climb or descent, the jet will maintain a 1G state in that climb or descent until commanded to do something else. This is designed to save our pilots if they are incapacitated or lose situational awareness.
I raise question if like there was a malfunction to begin with, if all that shit's working, you know?
Yeah. And then obviously people were starting to question why it took so long, why they couldn't track it while it was still flying, and then why it took more than a day for them to find, this humongous ass jet that looks like it says it flown over populated, although rural areas. And then this is where it gets kind of odd, because the Marines said features that erase a jet's secure communications in case of an ejection, a feature designed to protect both the pilot's location and the plane's classified systems, may also have complicated efforts to find it. So I don't know. I think that's just kind of a weird thing, because like in a typical emergency, like if the guy's got to get ejected, why would you want to just erase all that shit? Like, I mean, I think that's stupid. And like I don't think you should have it set, because if he's got to eject and like he's flying around somewhere that's like in a fucking populated area, you're gonna want to find that motherfucker.
Right.
I mean, shit could have went like extremely sideways. Like I said, that thing could have crashed into a whole neighborhood of houses and just all kinds of shit.
I mean, the fact that they couldn't find it and took more than a day to find it, I'm assuming that it didn't crash, because I don't know the details of where it crashed, but I'm assuming it crashed in more of like a open field or something like that, because I would imagine it got called instantly if it was more catastrophic. That's
actually the last little paragraph there. It says that's one of the other silver linings is it avoided crashing into a densely populated area surrounding the airport, and fortunately crashed into an empty field and forested area. So that's really about the best case scenario there when it comes to that kind of situation. But yeah, I mean, that news broke earlier in the week and just kind of engulfed my timeline for a few days while people were just trying to figure out where this thing was and how the fuck it wasn't found yet, and just all kinds of shit. So that was one thing I wanted to get into. And then do you have anything else before I go on with what I got?
You can hop into that Netflix.
Another one was Netflix. A few years ago they came out with another show that kind of just swept the nation with Squid Game. It was a show that I watched, really enjoyed it. I think I binged. It was one of those shows that I binged in maybe like couple days. Basically would just come home from after work and just watch as many as I could before I had to go to bed and stuff. And it was a really awesome show. And they're supposed to, I don't know, at some point there's supposed to be a season 2. I mean, there was kind of like a cliffhanger ending to season 1, but they dropped a trailer this week that Netflix is going to be doing. I think it's in November. They're dropping a Squid Game reality show, and the prize is, I think, 4.3 million or something, 4.2 million, whatever the number of contestants there are. It's like that. I think it's like 4.35 million or whatever the fuck it is. And it's kind of catching a lot of flack because Mr. Beast did basically that same kind of thing. I think we talked about it on this show maybe like a year and a half ago or something. I mean, it was his biggest video to date. I think it ended up reaching like 9-figure views, like pretty quick. I think it's got to be sitting at, I mean, shit, I'm gonna look that up right now. I think it's at several hundred million views. Let me see here. But yeah, Netflix just basically took that. I mean, it's like they made the show, and then Mr. Beast copied it and made his little reality show, and then Netflix is recopying it and doing their own
yeah.
shit.
It does seem kind of sus on that end, but you would think while you're looking that up, I would imagine that maybe Mr. Beast is profiting in some capacity, whether it's like maybe Netflix in some way is compensating Mr. Beast to maybe use like his facility, because I'm sure he has all that stuff set up like in a warehouse or however he did his YouTube video. Wow. So
that came out 1 year ago, and right now it's sitting at 502 million views.
Damn,
that's mind blowing, dude, and that is far and above the amount of views that the actual show got. 502 million views, and that's probably why Netflix, they looked at that and they're like, look what the fuck he did. Let's kind of do the same thing. And I don't know well, I don't know. Well, I guess there's that whole fucking SAG thing going on, so maybe that's pushing back this shit, and so they're just bringing in all these fucking randos to do this reality show. I don't know how that works, but yeah, instead of giving us season 2 and continuing on a great story arc, we're getting this reality show. And I ain't gonna lie, I'll check it out. But I mean, if it's like I said, I've already watched this same kind of premise with Mr. Beast, so we'll see how this all goes. But why don't we pop out of the mill here, Dylan, and then we'll end off episode 151 with our plays this week. We'll start off with the week 2 of the TSP Sunday Football Parlay. Last week, unfortunately, if you guys rode with us, you caught the quick death, and we apologize. We kind of put a lot of trust into what seems to be a shitty Cincinnati Bengals team, and Lamar Jackson just went fucking nutso. And that Breece Hall rushing line was too good to be true because the Cowboys shut him up. Christian McCaffrey, that's why a lot of people say he's the best in the league. Definitely top 2 in my book. He did go over that 59.5, I believe, was what I got rushing mark. And I can't think off the top of my head what our fourth.
Cincinnati was -3, so they shit the bed.
Yes, yep. So not a great start for that. But this week, me and Dylan, we decided to do something a little short and sweet, just a little 2-legger. It's got plus 235 odds, I believe, is what I seen earlier. Yep. So what I personally put on there was Bijan Robinson over 22.5 receiving yards. I mean, right out the gate, Atlanta has been loving having this dude, and they're kind of showing why they took him as high as they did, and they love to give this dude catches out of the backfield, screens, and he makes that shit work. I'm pulling up here. Week 1 against the Panthers, he had let me see here, 6 receptions, 27 yards, and a touchdown. And then this past week against the Panthers, he had 4 receptions, 48 yards. And he's getting about 19 carries too. He got 124 yards rushing. So, I mean, this dude is the real fucking deal. And he's able to do it all. And I think, 22.5 yards. He's eclipsed that both games so far this year, and they're just going to keep trying to give this dude the ball as much ways as they can, as often as they can, because it's working very well, especially with still having, Tyler Algier there, who is still running his ass off. And good for him, too, because he kind of got, shafted a little bit because he had a hell of a year last year and then had to take a back seat to Bijan Robinson. But over 22.5 is where I'm at. And, young D-Lo, he'll take over here for the second leg.
Yes, sir, Bobby. I really like that prop right there. And just to pair it up with this one with Elijah Moore over 38.5. It worked out week 1 when I had a good feeling about it. I sent it to you guys on a group chat, and he did hit it on that 38.5 mark. I think it was a little bit lower, maybe 36.5 that week 1. But regardless, they're going against Tennessee. Should be beautiful weather in Cleveland. This better be and I'm not saying it should be, I'm saying it better be a breakout game for Watson, get his head out of his ass, and better time to do it against Tennessee, who's ranked towards the bottom in passing defense at 28. They're allowing just about average of 281.5 yards in the air to their opponents to date. And Elijah Moore is, you would think, oh, wait, what about Amari Cooper? Amari Cooper is also a solid line. I think his line actually bumped up from when it opened up at like 56.5. It went up to 61.5, which kind of shied me away from more of like, I want to get a guaranteed spot here. 38.5, I love it for Elijah Moore. He's a second option, or he actually shares receptions on this Browns offense, sharing it with Cooper at 22.5% of the receptions. Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore are both receiving equal amount of love. Just got to have the better opportunities here for Elijah Moore to kind of get this offense rolling against a weak passing defense against Tennessee at home. I have no doubts in my mind that this plus 235 will hit and get us into the winning column for the TSP Parlay.
Okay, I'm looking here on DraftKings. They got over 23.5 for Bijan. But then they have over 36.5 for Elijah Moore. But if you put those both in a parlay, it's plus 250. So a little bit of a difference there. So we're gonna ride that. And I like this one. I liked last week's too, man. I mean, just didn't go our way. That's just how it goes. But we'll keep this one short and sweet. And you can definitely if you put 10 down, you can about triple your money there. So I think ride with us, or shit, there might be some of you guys that are fading us, smart enough, and you guys have been making some good money off doing the fucking complete opposite of what we're doing. But hopefully, we're only week 2 in the TSP parlay. Let's get in the W column. But with that said,
let's get
like we brought up earlier, Dylan. The D-Lo lock, we're at 0-2 right now, but when you first started doing lock bets, you went on the schneid for a good 4 or 5 game streak. Mm-hmm. So this is nothing new to you, but we don't like it. We want to get it moved over, and you cooked one up. You got a couple different options. So we'll see how this one goes, because they want to do these like staggering Monday nighters for another week. So we actually got 2 plays, and Dylan, let them know what it is.
Yeah, so the first one here, we'll go with the game 1. I think it premieres at 7 o'clock here. I might end up regretting this pick, which I don't want to open up a Monday Night Football lock by saying that, but you never want to bet against a man who hates or loves to be bet against. And with that being said, for game 1 against the Buccaneers and the Eagles, I'm going with Baker Mayfield under 226.5 passing yards. I liked it more at the 235. I think it opened at, or it was probably more like 230.5, but I'll even take it at 226.5 passing yards. It's minus 114 on FanDuel. And that's as of today, because I did wait till the last minute to cook these up to get more accurate numbers and kind of like look around at the props here. But I did like the research, or the stats here for this prop when I was researching it. He only has gone over the 226.5 mark 2 times of his last 10 games in total. I know that's a mixture between 3 different teams, with the end of his road with Cleveland couple games with the Rams and then a couple games with Buccaneers here. But that also has translated to his road games, and he's going into Philadelphia here on Monday Night Football, and he hasn't passed over 200 yards on his last 10 road games. So he did have a breakout 310-yard game last week, but that was against the Bears, and they're not good. So I'm going to really say it could be pretty good with that defensive front. I know watching Baker in Cleveland, he's had quite the trouble with some very good defensive fronts with batted down balls, getting pressure. I mean, he's not as elusive as you might think. So I expect that the defensive front, more particularly of the Eagles, can get after him, rushes, throws, get him off a platform, bat down some balls. I do think that they're probably going to have to rely on the run game more, but my only fear with this is that the Eagles are going to go up in this game, and they're going to be forced to pass. So there could be a lot of fucking garbage yards here towards the end of the game, trying to play catch up. That could make this go over. But I do like the odds and the research here and the history behind this, because as we learned last week, history does not lie and it does not fail. It burned me last week, so I want to ride history this week with Baker Mayfield under 226.5 passing yards for Game 1. Now, if you don't like that one, you don't feel as comfortable with it, I do have another prop here for you for Game 2 of Monday Night Football, and that is going to be the LA Rams money line. This is a plus 126 on FanDuel. I think this is an absolute steal for plus money. There's multiple reports suggesting that Joe Burrow will be ruled out or inactive. There's a lot of scutterbutt, if you will, going around the locker room of Cincinnati. That they think that Joe Burrow is probably going to be inactive. I know he was ruled out of the latest practice, I believe, either on Thursday or Friday. He didn't participate in, but he's been limited throughout all week. He tweaked his calf during Baltimore on that last drive, and you see him. He's kind of dealing with an issue. Even if he does play, he's certainly not going to be at 100%, and it's on his driving leg as well. So I don't think that he's going to be playing, and if he doesn't play, they've been working out quarterbacks all week. They just signed A.J. McCarron. That he's not going to save anyone there in Cincinnati, and I don't think he would start either. He might be more of an emergency backup. And speaking of emergency backups, I also saw clips of Joe Mixon, of all people, being an emergency backup quarterback because they only had, 2 quarterbacks on the roster outside of Joe Burrow and some other, I don't even know his name, so that pretty much tells you everything you need to know there. But they had Joe Mixon practicing on Tuesday of with the quarterbacks practicing for emergency backup situation there. But Bengals are 2-5 without Joe Burrow in his career so far, and 1-3 at home. And I'm pretty sure it's in Cincinnati. I do like LA to win this game. And I definitely expect Cincinnati to go 0-3 here, especially if Joe Burrow doesn't play. Even if he does play, I do like the Rams here for money line. Maybe even the spread if you don't want to get too crazy. I think it's at 3.5 right now. What was it? Minus 3.5 or plus 3.5 for the Rams there. So either one there you like. If you like both, ride both. But those are my picks for the Monday Night Football games. What are your thoughts, Bobby?
The Rams one, we'll see. I mean, like I said, it all depends on what they're going to do with Joe Burrow. I don't know if it's worth trotting him out if he's not. Because he's never going to get back to anywhere near 100%. And with it being an ankle thing, that's just going to aggravate him more and more. I mean, I think with it being against the Rams, it would maybe be smart to let him, sit this one out for once, and kind of just, because I think just 1 week off, you're going to get at least somewhat of an improvement. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'm trying to pull up these fucking lines here on Monday. Here we go.
It looks like that line did move.
Yeah, as I'm looking right now. Yeah, I got minus 2.5 Bengals right now for Monday, and we'll see how it goes. And then, the Eagles' defense is pretty solid, man. So the Baker bet, that's not a bad one either. He's been threading the needle a little bit, but yeah, he's gonna have to deal with a ferocious ass front seven with Philly, and we'll have to see how things go. But let me see. Week 1, he kind of surprised. Yeah, he had a solid game, 2 touchdowns, but it was $173, And then, like you said last week, against the measly ass Bears, he went for oops, that's Justin Fields. He went for 317. So, not bad, man. Not bad. I think we're gonna see jump over here in the W column, and it'd be good shit. And obviously, we'll be pulling for the Rams because obviously the shittier the Bengals do, the better for us.
Right.
We definitely want to kind of gain some distance, between us and them. And yeah, man, it'll be. I'll definitely try to. I probably won't watch the whole fucking thing, but I'll definitely be keeping tabs on it for sure. So those are the locks. There's the Monday the parlay. I actually had a little 50% boost on that. So if these fuckers can do what we think they can do, I'll end up winning 5x my money. So you gotta love that. You gotta love that. So like I said, we will we'll post the Sunday play. By the time this is already posted, it'll already be donezo. But going forward, we do typically try to post the Sunday plays pretty much Sunday morning, so people can get them bets in by game time and get all that good shit going. But then obviously this will come to the Monday bets. When you hear this, you'll be able to jump over and decide if you're going to ride with the boys or fade. Can't blame you for fading. Obviously, you'd be making a very financially smart decision in the last 2 weeks. So do not blame me whatsoever on that side of things. So I wish I was one of these thousands upon thousands of people last week that took that FanDuel special fucking weekly special, whatever, with the field goals plus 18,000, plus 20,000. I mean, they absolutely wrecked FanDuel. They had to pay out $20 million on that. Fucking nuts, man.
I hopped on it this week, and it's only plus 9,000, if that tells you anything.
Yeah, so and that means right there probably won't hit. So if we go off things, but fingers crossed, baby. Let's fucking go. Ready for another fucking great slate of football games. Really need to. I'm 0-2 in the Al Grabowski Invitational. Got to get a turnaround, but we'll see. I drafting Justin Fields may have been a bad choice. I thought he'd get a little more active on his feet, but I'm not seeing it.
Well,
so,
I might have a trade for you.
A lot of turmoil over there in Chicago, so it'll be interesting. But yeah, holler at me about that offline. We'll see. Maybe we'll figure something out. Might have to do a little trade ski. But Dylan, I think we'll put a bow on episode 151. It was good. Recording with the triple OGs. It felt like back in the day, the payphone style shit. Come a long way from those days. We got some, and we're both running brand new equipment and stuff. So it's just another one of those examples of just seeing how far we've come since then. With especially with StreamYard here and just being able to show graphics, play those 911 clips, and show the articles and all that shit. So definitely have come a very long way. Love doing this fucking show. Been loving all the feedback we're getting, and we're just. I'm also liking that people are really tuning into the YouTube now, which is cool. We've been kind of pushing that a little bit harder this season. When we share our stories and shit, that's kind of the front line there. But definitely also show a lot of love and appreciation to the podcast listeners as well. That's both of us being truck drivers. That's where we lie. Is the podcast side of things. So definitely love that. But shout out to our guy Joe the Greek. Hopefully he'll listen and get to see how you did this week with the pork shoulder. What's gonna be your next endeavor, man? Before we jump off, you're smoking
shit.
endeavor.
Like you can smoke fucking anything, man. So I saw I've been following a lot of Malcolm Reed. He's pretty much like a legend from what I've understood from the research. And I don't know, he made some of those like home style like bacon wrapped meatballs coated with some barbecue sauce. There looked like a nice little finger food action for like football, especially football season. So I might have to embark on one of those. I know Jen, she requested some ribs. She's like, can you smoke ribs? I'm like, baby, you can smoke anything.
Look up, and I know Joe's a big component of it, but look up the 3-2-1 method.
For the ribs?
Yes, and that's
all right.
A plus every time. But before I let you end it, right here, Cleveland. Wrong way. There we go. Brownies. That guy right there. Win one right there for 2-4. That motherfucker right there that put the whole city and team on his goddamn back for 5 years now. Let's go out and win one for him. Let's fucking get it. D'Lo with that. Take us out, baby.
Yes, sir, baby. Chubb. 424. For this episode of 151, though, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this little OG episode with Bobby and myself. And hope to get Joe the Greek back next week. He was here with us in spirit. Hope he gets to tune in and kind of chime in on what his thoughts were about my smoke as well. Hope you guys all enjoyed that smoke with the images. If you're on YouTube, be sure to go check out our YouTube. If you're not on there already, subscribe. Smash that subscribe button, bell icon, so you're notified when anything drops. And any kind of lives. I know we're going to be due for a live here coming up in October. We have to kind of discuss that if we're going to be doing anything like that in the near future. But let's all say go Browns, go TSP, go Good Barbecue, and we'll catch you for the next one for 152.